EAGLES. Eagles.
Welcome in, everybody, to a Monday edition of Birds 365 here on JAKIB Sports. I'm your host, Zander Krause. That's my co-host, Johnny Mac, John McMullen, a little nighttime edition of Birds 365 following practice number 4 that's open to the media today. Johnny Mac, how you doing on this Monday evening, brother?
Drained. Hot one today. Hot one. Only going to be worse tomorrow, supposedly. So, and the pads are coming on tomorrow, as we predicted this morning for people tuning in. Today they had shells on, helmets and pads, shoulder pads, but the full pads are coming on tomorrow. So there's going to be some laboring tomorrow.
Yes, sir. No doubt about it. Some pads on today, a little bit, at least the shoulder pads coming on. That's pretty good, Johnny Mac. John, what are your first couple takeaways from practice today? I'll tell you, just from consuming your reports and the rest of the beat reporters around the city and who are all at practice, boy, the defense is having some good days, John. They're stacking some good days. What were your first thoughts from today's day number 4, practice number 4, training camp practice?
Yeah, interception.
Yeah, how about it?
So I think, Jalen went 900 attempts without an interception. I'm joking. I don't know what the number was, but you get that out of the way. And it was a great interception by Quinyon Mitchell. It was one-handed ball. That was the one thing that Quinyon didn't do well as a rookie. Didn't have great ball skills. Was always in a position to make plays, but didn't make them. Finally got the interception late. His first, but man, yeah, it was a great pick. It was an
Walk us through it.
ball.
What was it, down the sideline? I know it was like an underthrown ball. What happened on the
Yeah,
pick?
it looked like Jalen and AJ weren't on the same page. AJ was looking for a go route. Might have been a good pass rush. Threw it off his back foot. Quinyon saw right away it was going to be underthrown. So he went back to get it, one-handed stab. So great play by Quinyon Mitchell. So another interception later, but that was third team. Kyle McCord, Tariq Castro-Fields got him. So bunch of pass breakups. Good day for the defense, especially the coverage. Jeremiah Trotter Jr. in zone coverage. So that's one thing you always think about with him as a young player. Is he going to be able to handle the coverage aspect? He did a nice job today. So a lot of positive from the defense. Mac McWilliams on 6'6", Johnny Wilson pass breakup in the end zone, red zone work. So
Mac McWilliams showing some flashes, John, early in camp here.
Yeah, and he got some extra work today because he was the dime back. Drew Makuba wasn't able to practice today, so he got some work as the dime back with the first team. They seem to really like Mac McWilliams and his ability to be sticky in coverage, so that's positive. And that shows you how close you are to being on the field. One injury and bang, he's the dime back. Not that they use dime packages a lot, but you're relevant for a role in the defense. That's how quickly it can happen.
No doubt about it. John Carter comes back out today. That was good to see Jaylen Carter out on the field, but a lot of defense dominating the storylines. We're going to talk a little bit about Makuba today. We got to get to that cornerback too, because Adoree Jackson got a lot of the reps there again. I'm wondering if some of those out of the lock or off the team additions might come into play, depending on what Howie has in the arsenal that he could do this year. But let's start with Jaylen Carter. He was back out there today. Did you see anything from him, or just kind of a nice thing to see him back out on the football field?
No, he didn't work in team drills at all. So he was back doing some individual work, but he wasn't in any of the team drills. So still being very cautious with him. I saw somebody say that's the defense game. He didn't play on the team stuff. So not that he wouldn't be a big impact, but wasn't back to that degree. So just working in individual, but he's getting closer to being back out there. So, We'll see if he's out there tomorrow when they do put the pads on. They'll certainly practice individual again, but whether they put him in team drills, and we'll see when that happens. But, they're still being very cautious with him.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Good stuff there, John. We'll go through the secondary as well. Felt like a good day for the secondary, at least from my perspective. I didn't have a chance to watch it up close and personal like you did. But real quick on Quinyon Mitchell, you bring up that interception. I think that's pretty optimistic. The one area, John, that most people called for an area of improvement for Quinyon was the ball skills. And, you mentioned that at the open, but it's good to see that early from him making a splash play. I'm wondering, John, if this year Quinyon has a lot more picks, because if you remember last year, he had a lot of chances for them, but he just kind of couldn't rein them all in. I'm wondering if he flips that script a little bit, he ends up with a bunch of interceptions. But I think he's approaching stud status pretty quick, John, here in Philly.
Yeah, he and AJ Devontae was out today. He and AJ had a nice little battle going back and forth. AJ got him high pointed like a violent catch at the highest point on some 1-and-1s. He had that interception, which was an underthrow. There was a pass break up in the middle of the field. AJ got him with a back shoulder. So good back and forth between those two players. And anytime you're going back and forth with AJ Brown, that's a positive. That means you're good, because he's usually not, it's usually not a 50-50 proposition with AJ Brown. So that's a big positive for Quinyon Mitchell, I'd say.
Yeah, no doubt about it. John, talking about the camp battles that we've kind of followed all off season and leading into camp and now in training camp, anything worth noting today about who started where? Let's kind of run through them real quick. We can start at corner safety. I know Makuba wasn't on the field today. We'll talk a little bit about that. But any big shift in who started or who got more reps with the first team today?
Not a big shift as far as reps. Adoree did start at right corner, but, similar amount of mixing reps with Kaylee Ringo. So that part hasn't gone down. Still nothing when it comes to Tyler Steen. The Campbell stuff, he got some first team reps, but he's getting first team reps with Trotter when they're trying to rest Zach Baun. So he's still not getting first team reps with Zach Baun. So we'll see when that happens. I'm sure it'll come at some point, but it hasn't come yet. As you mentioned, Makuba didn't play, so that he was out today with a shoulder. So that was Sidney Brown, and no real competition there, other than Cooper DeJean still working at safety in the base defense, but then moves to the slot when they're at nickel, which is the vast majority of the time, and then Sidney Brown would rotate in. So those are the main competitions. One of the underreported ones I was just writing about, there is no competition at tight end, backup tight end. Grant Calcaterra is lapping the field, and I mean lapping the field. So that's one that not a big deal, and obviously, role players, but I thought maybe there would be more of a push, more of a competition with some veteran players at tight end. Not happening.
Nothing.
Not happening.
No Harrison Bryant, nothing.
Kylan Granson dropped a potential touchdown in the red zone. And meanwhile, Grant Calcaterra's making one-handed stabs. It's not close.
Our Harrison Bryant fans in here, and he says collusion with the. Hey, JD, you're a couple weeks out from having to change that profile picture there with the Harrison Bryant jersey, my friend.
Oh well, JD. There's no collusion. I mean, and the fullback stuff. I mean, he isn't lined up at fullback once, so you can pretty much nix that.
You think he's going to get cut?
Right now, I mean, if you said like last year, I think because they have so many offensive linemen, I do think that's a position right for Howie roster games. So those are vested veteran players, Bryant and Granson. So he can make wink deals with one or both and say, because they don't have to go through waivers, and say, we'll bring you back, but we need the roster spot right now. similar to what they did with Nick Gates last year. I think we're headed down that direction, and they'll probably only keep 2 tight ends again. If it continues the way it's going right now on the initial 53, and that'll be Dallas and Grant. And then it'll keep, 2 or 3 on the practice squad, and you'll be able to get one of those guys back at least, maybe pairing with EJ Jenkins. Maybe it goes about it that way.
Good stuff there, John. We'll see how that all shakes out with the defensive battles and some of that stuff. Interesting about the backup tight end. By the way, Kyle Kutera did speak today. It was good to hear him speak. A lot of players spoke today, John. They all sounded pretty good. I like the mentality of most of the players I'm listening to early in camp here.
Yeah, I'm not a big.
It still doesn't mean much. I know.
Yeah,
I'm just saying.
yeah.
I think they all sound,
Yeah, but it is notable when you get the podium treatment. That does mean something, and Grant got it today. So there might be collusion, but it's not collusion with me. It's collusion inside the building. they seem to like Grant Calcaterra.
Yeah, we'll see how it all shakes out. John, let's go to the Keely Ringo Adoree Jackson battle. That seems to be the one getting a lot of talking in the Eagle verse, in the Eagle ether world. What's going on there? I think Adoree Jackson, I don't know. I'm not there, but it feels like Adoree Jackson's going to pull away with that job. He just knows how to play, and he seems to be doing pretty good when he gets reps out there. I know you said Ringo kind of rotated in equally with him, but 3 or 4 days that you've seen, that you've been there, he's been the starter with the first team reps, or at least got the first shot with the first team reps. Hey, maybe it doesn't mean much. Maybe it does. But what are you seeing from Adoree Jackson? And then how do you see that battle shaping up as we are through 4 days of camp practice for you to see?
Yeah, I don't think it shifted much. I think, they look at Adoree as a good insurance policy if Kaylee Ringo isn't able to win the job. But I think the hope is that Kaylee Ringo wins the job. Again, but they're not going to hand it to him. But they would like that from an upside standpoint, from a money standpoint, from a long-term standpoint, to have Kaylee Ringo perform at a high level. So doesn't mean he's going to, but I mean, people should learn from Devin White last year about this first rep stuff that everybody's obsessed with.
Right.
It's about the number.
Well, how else do you gauge the battle? You know what I mean? Like, for somebody that's not there, do you just sit back and say, "Oh, we'll see"?
Well, you can't shut off after the first rep.
Right.
There's a today was about an hour and 40-minute practice, and there's a lot of first team reps, and Kaylee Ringo's still getting a lot of first team reps. So I think too many people, and I'm not even talking about fans, too many media people say, all right, first team rep, first guy out there, and then boom, it's shut off. And that's why people were caught off guard when Devin White wasn't the starting linebacker.
Right.
But by the end of camp, Jacoby was getting way more first team reps. They were just deferring to Devin White because they signed him, and it's one of those things where, you say you're bringing in the veteran guy, and you're deferring to him a little bit. Whereas, lost in the sauce was that he was getting, as I said, he was getting many more first team reps, and it's not that case today. And by the way, practice has been moved up to 9 a.m. tomorrow because of heat concerns. So,
yeah, I figured they were going to think about that.
So a little bit earlier practice for the Eagles tomorrow. It's going to be 100, I think. So they're trying to beat the heat. They've done that sometimes in the past, and they're going to have the pads on. So, and Vic is talking tomorrow, I think. So tomorrow's going to be a big day, and it's going to be earlier. It just means I got to get up even early. Yeah.
No doubt. Well, see, good switch there. John, how does Adoree look when he's out there? I mean, from the reports I'm getting, it seems like he looks pretty good, has strong coverage against AJ, Marshall, anybody he's lined up against. Does he look good out there? Let me put it this way. If Ringo falls flat, Are they going to need to go and sign a corner, or do you believe Adoree Jackson would be who they would default to and they wouldn't look outside the room?
No, he's like I said, I think he looks like a good insurance policy, and that's how they view him. And I think they'd be very comfortable if they had to play him. But, the hope is that the younger player seizes it, just like it is with, Jihad Campbell eventually or Drew Makuba. As rookies, you always hope, you always want, you always project. Doesn't mean it's going to happen. And you need those contingencies. And I think Adoree Jackson's played a lot of football. And he knows how to play, and he'll be a very competent player. I have no doubt about that. But he doesn't have the upside at this stage that Kelee Ringo has from a physical perspective.
Yeah, we'll see how that develops. I'm wondering if Adoree could win that and kind of take it and maybe be a James Bradbury, get another deal here in Philly and kind of have that position for a year or two. I don't know if he's that good or if they would go that route, but I'd be curious to see what they end up doing. Because
if he's second team All-Pro, yeah, they'll bring him back.
Yeah, right. But if Ringo doesn't steal the job or win it, and you're looking at another year of him, as a backup, what do you do at that spot? I don't think you come in with Ringo in year 4 and slot him into the starter. If you
this is probably it for him as far as earning it. So, a lot of pressure on him, no doubt about it. And, I think, he had a tough start on day one, but, he hasn't been bad over the last 3 days. So, again, I think that was overblown. And I think people treat practice like a game, and it's not. So, he's getting better as well. And, he's got to fix the problem at the catch point, which is significant. He's got to, track the football better, understand when it's coming. It's he doesn't have the savviness that Adoree Jackson has. That's the big difference. When we talk about professional players, Adoree's been doing it for a long time, understands how to play the position, But you look at somebody like Patrick Peterson late in his career in Pittsburgh, or even Slay late in his career, those guys know how to play. Those guys, and they're savvier, but at some point, the regression in, their physical tools overtakes that.
We'll see what ends up happening there. John, let's move into the safety, brother. I want to talk about Andrew Makuba a little bit, and then we'll talk about the guys who were on the field. I think there was a Lewis Scene sighting today, so we'll talk about that. John, Andrew Makuba, I've been getting shit in the chat, John, going back to draft night when they drafted Makuba, and I said on the media draft show right after I talked to you, oh, this guy's small, man, and everybody jumped down my throat. Oh, my God, he can play. All right. Well, he's already got an injury, John. I know it's early in camp. I know it might not mean a whole lot, but my concern with Makuba has always been, how is his body going to hold up in the NFL? What are your thoughts on Makuba missing practice with a shoulder injury after Saturday's practice today?
It hurts because, you saw it with Cooper, rookies especially. Vic is going to want them to be at practice. We'll see how long. He was out there, it wasn't so serious that they were keeping him off the field. So he was watching. Hopefully it's a short-term thing, but hey, you don't even have to go with rookies. I mean, you saw what happened to Tyler Steen last year when he got hurt, and he missed about 8-9 days. And all of a sudden he came back and he didn't have a job. So yeah, being out there matters, especially when you haven't proven anything yet in your NFL career. So we'll see how long it takes, but yeah, it's not a positive development for him being on the field week 1. Any time missed is going to affect you. And then, the Eagles have kind of proven that on both sides of the ball.
Yeah.
At least when you're not a proven player.
Yeah, right. Makes sense. Any idea how serious that injury is? I would take it not that serious. He was walking around out there, so probably not that serious. But any idea? Did you get any sort of information
No,
about that?
I mean they don't have to give injury
Yeah.
reports at this stage of the year. But again, the fact that it was on the field is an indication it's terribly serious.
Yeah,
Because if it
so
were serious, they don't let you get near the field and near the action.
all right, Sidney Brown, John, getting the vast majority of reps today with the first team in nickel without Makuba out there. How does Sidney Brown look, and have your thoughts on him working in the Fangio defense shifted at all? What are you seeing from Sidney Brown so far in training camp?
Well, I think he's performed better than Drew early in camp, but no, I still don't think he's a fit for what Vic likes to do. So there's sort of a give and take. But as I've said on this morning show, you're never going to get everything you want as a coach in this league. Even if you do have the best roster and the best team, there's always room for improvement. So, there's nothing wrong with looking for the type of player you want at every particular position. But while you're looking and while you're trying to gain that player, you have to utilize what you have the best way possible. To me, that's where the Eagles are at safety with Sidney Brown. It's probably their best option to play opposite Reed Blankenship, but he's not necessarily the style of safety that Vic wants. Well, if Makuba's not ready to play, you got to make do, and you got to, ship some things around, play a little bit differently, do what you have to do. And I think that's where the Eagles are at safety right now.
Yeah, going to be interesting to see how that position develops, Johnny Mac. I don't know how much I like Sidney Brown in this defense, but I don't want to put the ceiling on him. We'll see what he can do. John Lewis Seen hit the field today. All right, maybe his first time, at least the first time I've heard his name said in camp.
No, he's been out there every day.
No, I know he's been out there, but I haven't heard his name said at all.
No. Well, I don't know why I heard his name said today. I mean, somebody. Why do you not talk about Lewis Seen? Why do none of you guys talk about Lewis? Because there's nothing to talk about. Bottom, buried on the depth chart.
Nothing.
Nothing.
All right, so he's done. All right, moving on. John, Cooper DeJean getting a lot of safety reps in the base defense again, right? So you think that's where he's going to be in base, even if it's 10% of the time or whatever it is?
Yeah, right now, yeah. He's playing it very well.
That doesn't surprise me. You could line Cooper up anywhere in that secondary. I bet you would have the same take.
Yeah. In fact, I think ultimately when we were talking about Sidney Brown, ultimately, if they could find somebody to play the slot, Mac McWilliams potentially, all of a sudden Cooper might be back at safety full time. I think Vic really, really likes Cooper DeJean at safety. Really, really likes him, and really likes the impact that he could potentially have on the game. But you need to have somebody who can play a slot. And is Mac McWilliams in the slot better than Sidney Brown at safety in a Vic Fangio defense?
Right.
I doubt it.
What's a better tandem, right? Sidney and Cooper in the slot, or Mac and Cooper at safety? I don't know.
Yeah, and it could be Makuba in the slot. Who knows? But
Makuba does look like he could be a slot to me.
Yeah, it looks like one from a size perspective, but that doesn't always translate. People talked about Isaiah Rodgers that way for years because he looks like a slot corner. Well, he doesn't play the slot. He doesn't like to play the slot. He's a good outside corner, even though he's undersized. So you have to be careful about just sort of projecting players because they fit the size, they fit the suit for old Brady Bunch spans. I'm going back to the 1970s, so there's probably none of them, but there's an old episode where he fit the suit. Just because you fit the suit and you look like a slot cornerback doesn't mean you can play slot cornerback.
Yeah, that's true. We'll see what ends up happening with that. Any chance they move Ringo, John? somebody was speculating today. He looks like a safety, and like you just said, you
Well,
literally
that's the
you're
thing.
seeing the
Yeah.
perfect
Well,
analogy.
he looks like a safety because he's 6'2" and
Yeah.
200. As and Adore said, 220. Looks like he's 220. So that's why, again, he fits the suit, but he's never played safety before. Yeah, so there's been no evidence of any thought of him at safety. So just because he looks like a safety
Yeah,
doesn't mean
pie in the sky right now.
yeah.
Out goes the window, John. Have you heard the fan song that was created about Cooper DeJean? We talked about this before.
I have not.
Cooper
I don't.
DeJean is not a safety. And
Oh, there
out
it
the
is.
window it goes, baby. He's just a quarter who locks
All right.
down your number one. Now it's gone, John. It's gone if they move him to safety, but we'll see what ends up
You
happening
got to be
there. John, let's
careful.
move.
You got to be careful with that stuff.
What do you
Vic
mean?
will do what he wants to do.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
Um,
John, let's move up on the defense here. Go to the linebacker group. How did the linebackers look today? You mentioned that when Campbell was subbing in, he was getting in for Zach Barnes. So it means Trotter was a constant on that in that first unit. What are you seeing from the linebackers? I also read that Campbell got beat up a little bit in one-on-ones. Now, I don't know how much that means, but what did you see from those linebackers today out at the practice field?
Yeah, the Eagles did some one-on-ones today between the receivers and the DBs, which we talked about a little bit, but also with the linebackers and the running backs. And yeah, Jihad had some issues with covering some of the running backs in the one-on-ones, but that'll happen. Those things are designed for the the offense to be successful. It's really difficult. So it's not the end of the world, but it's more important in team drills. And he's looked fine in those, mainly on the second team. But again, they're trying to really have maintenance days yet, but they have done. Nolan Smith took some time off today. Zach Baldwin took some reps off. A couple times Reed took some reps off the other day. So they're trying to do that with some of the entrenched players. And that's when he got some of the first team reps next to Jeremiah Trotter Jr. But you can see the athleticism, the length. I think he's going to be a problem in the middle of the field and zone because he's just so long. But if you there are very few linebackers that if you match up in coverage that they're not going to get beat.
Yeah.
Now, there's also very few running backs that can catch the ball consistently. So it's like a give and take. But the running back's usually going to beat them. Now, whether they catch the ball on the back end, there's certain guys, Jahmyr Gibbs, Bijan, Aaron Jones, a very good receiver, guys like that. But there's very few of those guys.
Yeah, we'll see how that all shakes out. Johnny Mac, let's move up to that defensive line a little bit. Get the shoulder pads on today so you can see at least a little bit more. Moro Jomo, man, I keep hearing his name in camp. What'd you see from him and the rest of that defensive line today, John, at practice?
Yeah, Moro Jomo's having a very good camp, and that's one of those things. Is it 100% Moro Jomo, or is it 100% Tyler Steen? More likely, it's probably a little bit of column A and a little bit of column B. I think Moro is dominating that sort of competition, if you want to call it that, on a daily basis. And if you flipped it and played him over Landon Dickerson, it'd probably change pretty quickly. So you have to be careful. I kind of mentioned that the other day. Tyler Steen, yeah, I'm a little bit surprised. He's a concern of mine. Really, if this is any indication, he's going to really struggle in pass protection. And I can really screw you up on offense, even if the other guys are performing at an optimal level. Only takes one guy to mess it up. So we'll see how that develops as camp goes on. That'll be more important as the pads come on. But yeah, I think Moore is going to have a big camp. And I don't think Tyler Steen could block him, and that's where he usually lines up. And
it's like every player, John, every player gets asked about Tyler Steen, and they all keep talking about this talent. And I'm like, I every time I talk about it, they're seeing.
Well, I think he's a good. I think he's a good tackle trying to play guard. When he did play tackle in practice, he looked very comfortable. He played, 4 years of tackle at Vanderbilt, then another year at Alabama. To me, he's much more comfortable playing tackle, but his arms aren't long enough, and they think he's a good player, and they want to teach him guard. And hey, maybe he gets it. Look, there are a lot of times where Isaac Seumalo looked really bad early in his career. I mean, really bad. To the point I asked Stoutland at one point, is there a concern? Is there a possibility you guys can move on? And he was like, he gave me the Stoutland look. He's like, no, I love the, so he knows, but sometimes it takes time to get there. By the time Isaac left here, he was a great player. Same thing might happen with Tyler Steen, but I think a lot of people forget there were a lot of growing pains with Isaac Seumalo. And I think that's what you're going through with Tyler Steen.
If I'm a betting man, I'm not going to take that bet, but I appreciate the potential for optimism there that exists. Good stuff there. I like to hear. By the way, Moro Jomo spoke today. He is a well-spoken dude, man. You could tell he's a smart
dude. He went to college when he was 17.
Yeah, you could tell he's a polished dude for sure.
Yeah, very smart. Very smart.
So good stuff there for Moro Jomo. Ty Robinson, John. A lot of people wanted to hear about him. Not good, right? What happened on Ty?
I don't know if you can have a welcome to the NFL moment in practice. Ty Robinson probably had that today. They ran a little bit of a game up front stunt, which they don't do much really, and Ty Robinson got locked up with Jordan Mailata. He did not move for 5 seconds. He couldn't get off him. So is that a case of you look at the player and you get a concern, or is that just you went up against Jordan Mailata, dude? Half the league can't move him. No, but it wasn't about moving him. It was a pass, and Jalen was Jalen, obviously, because Jordan was out there, but it was the ones against the twos. And Jalen started scrambling. So right there, as a defensive lineman, you're supposed to disengage.
Right.
And he couldn't disengage. He couldn't disengage. I'm like, oh boy.
He couldn't even get off the block.
And then the second part was there was a little bit of a play to the other side of the field, and he wasn't chasing the play. And Clint Hurd gave him an earful, because you got to hustle at all times. So, yeah, not the best start, but again, very young player, day 3 pick. I think people like to skip steps.
Yeah.
And I think he'll be better when the pads come on. Maybe not against Jordan, but yeah, because he's a physical player. But he went up against a more physical player today.
Yeah, not going to win that one. Sorry, brother. Sorry, man. Not going to win that one early. John, anything else sticking out on that defensive line? Go to the edge rushers for a second. Ojulari spoke today. Antoine Powell-Ryland popped up a little bit today with a sack over the rookie Cameron Williams. What are you seeing from the edge rusher room? I will say, John, and I don't know if I'm right or not, but it feels like the concern I had coming into camp with the edge rushers versus secondary. With the secondary, it's maybe increased a little bit because I'm not sure about Makuba or Ringo. And on the front with the edge rushers, I feel a little bit better. Maybe I shouldn't. You tell me, what are you seeing from the edge rushers?
No, I'm still way more concerned overall. Well, part of it today was, no, as I said, Nolan took some reps off, and all of a sudden Patrick Johnson is with the first team, and O'Shawn Mathis is getting significant reps. And then, talked about one-on-ones. Jordan Mailata again, he had 2 reps against Jalen Hunt, completely shut him down. But again, it's Jordan Mailata. It's ironic because Jordan, spoke so highly of Jalen. And again, but remember, one-on-ones, that's one that's defensive, edge rushing. It's easier for the defense than the offense. Not many things,
Right.
but one-on-one between the offensive line, defensive line is heavily slanted towards the defense. So anytime it's like a stalemate, like Landon Dickerson, Moro Jomo had 2 reps, and that was like a stalemate, and that's like good for the offense.
Yeah, right.
But for the defense, to get beaten twice pretty soundly is not good. So in the case of that's what happened with Jalix, but he's not going to be. The good news is he's not going to be playing against Jordan Mailata in games. So you have to use that. You have to get it better. But yeah, I'm still concerned about the depth. I don't like it a little bit, and they're like a play away from having a real issue if Nolan Smith is not out there. And remember, Nolan's still wearing that big brace on his arm. And they're already giving him reps off. Yeah, although the new guy they signed he's shown, so I think he might end up being relevant. Because he knows how to but I also think they might trade for an edge rusher. But the big O, as I call him.
You think there's a bigger chance of an edge rusher trade or a secondary trade?
Edge.
Really?
Edge.
Be interesting to see what they do there, Johnny Mac. Good stuff. We'll take our first commercial break soon. We broke down a lot of the defense here from day 4 of camp. We're supposed to talk to Jeff Kerr at some point tonight. We'll see if he joins us. We get to get to some super chats now. When we come back we'll talk a little offense because I got some questions on the offense. Are they a little bit stagnant, a little bit of growing pains? But in my eyes, it's a good thing. Get some of that out of the way early. I was happy to see the interception today. I didn't want to get to day 20 of camp and we're still the interception watch. So I'm happy that it's over with, honestly. Jason A-Team checks in. What's up, Jason? $10. Thank you, my man. He says, Sam, what's up to J-Mac and Big Z and my JAKIB fam? Ajomo seems to keep being brought up. More and more worried about Trotter Jr. starting. Everyone's saying Campbell is taking over, and I can see why.
Yeah, I don't know who you're listening to. I mean, I think he'll eventually be the starter, but I mean, Trotter
I thought it was
taking
interesting. You said when he was coming in
every first team. Yeah. Well, they were giving Paul some, as I said, some maintenance snaps off. Every first team rep to this point with Zach Bond has been Trotter. And he's played pretty well. So, I mean, not that obviously the end game is ultimately Campbell, but he hasn't performed poorly as I've gotten from that. I don't think at all he's performed poorly. Trotter. So, the thought behind the Campbell stuff is they took him in the first round. That's where they want to go, but he's still, working his way back and he's still limited, which nobody seems to mention. He's still listed on the injury report that we get as limited, and he's still on a rep count. Now, when he's fully healthy, yeah, he's very athletic. He's very long. I think he's going to be a problem in the middle of the field just because of how athletic and long he is. But Trotter has not played poorly at all. I mean, he's done a solid job so far.
Yep, positive news there, John. We might be on a slight delay. It just randomly comes out of nowhere. I don't know. I can't really tell.
What the hell?
Let's keep rolling on here. It might be better now. B Pump says, "All right, man.
It's a damn heat."
Yeah, it might be. WTF? Who here wanted Christian Wilkins? This guy is a repeat offender. Just saw a video of Buddy doing the splits. Won't work here, sir."
Everybody's talking about Christian Wilkins. I don't know. I'm out of the loop, but no, they're not bringing in Christian Wilkins.
It's a little goofy, John. It's a little goofy.
No, I don't know if he's healthy. I don't know what's going on from that.
Did you see
the
story
but
that
if he is healthy, he's going to
about?
make way too much money for. No, I haven't.
He's like,
Kinda
apparently he was
down.
like kissing a teammate or something.
Not worried
and
about the Raiders. No, haven't gotten into it. Not seen it. I don't know. No, I haven't seen it.
It's goofy. It's goofy. I just wanted to see if
when I'm in camp, man, can't talk about it. Don't know about it.
All right, good stuff. Johnny Mac, we'll take a quick commercial break right here. Appreciate everybody for being here. We are on a quick little delay right now. I don't know what's going on. Sorry, but it made that segment pretty funny. At least in my eyes, it did. Appreciate everybody for being here, though. Hit the like button on the show. When we come back, we got to talk some offense. Let's talk Jalen Hurts. Let's talk Kevin Patullo. And let's see what's going on the offensive side of the ball. Appreciate everybody for being here. Hit that like button. We'll be right back in 3 minutes on Birds 365.
Welcome to the Jet Setters and the High Rollers, to the Shot Takers and the Tastemakers. Welcome to the Viewfinders, the Thrill Seekers, and the Night Owls. Welcome to everything you could possibly want on one 5-mile island. Welcome to the Wildwoods. Book your stay today.
The following is a real testimonial from the father of a young injured victim.
I didn't think she was going to make it.
Major Perry's daughter was the victim of a horrific accident caused by someone else's negligence.
If you don't find the right counselor, law firm that you're looking for, you will get lost in the wilderness.
Badly injured? Call the Fritz and Bianculli Law Firm at 215-458-2222 and find out why they say, "We got this."
In our hometown, we all look out for each other. We go the extra mile to lend a helping hand. We step up to keep our communities going strong. And at Independence Blue Cross, we're here to keep you going strong. We've been deeply rooted in our communities for more than 85 years. And that connection to members has earned us our spot as the #1 health insurer in the region. So while you look out for your neighbors, know IBX is always looking out for you.
Your financial future is on the line. Are you ready for what's next? At Leone & Company Wealth Management, we help young professionals, business owners, and pre-retirees navigate the complexities of building and protecting wealth. For young professionals, we'll help you grow your wealth, plan for your future, and make the most of your hard-earned dollars. For business owners, we provide strategies to protect your company, manage risks, and create a lasting legacy for both your business and personal wealth. For pre-retirees, we'll design a plan to secure your retirement, ensuring you can live comfortably and confidently in your next chapter. Whether you're just starting out, managing a thriving business, or preparing for retirement, we're here to help you take control of your financial future. The first consultation is on us. Get the advice you need without the cost. Let's make your financial vision a reality. Take the next step. Scan the QR code to schedule your free consultation today. And of course, go Birds.
Welcome to the Jet Setters and the High Rollers, to the Thrill Seekers, and the Night Owls. Welcome to everything you could possibly want on one 5-mile island. Welcome to the Wildwoods. Book your stay today.
EAGLES, Eagles.
Welcome back in, everybody, to a Monday edition of Birds 365, a nightcap edition here on the show. Joining you live, I'm your host, Zander Krause. That's my co-host, Johnny Mack, John McMullen, wrapping up day number 4 on the field for the Eagles, at least to open on the field for the reporters to be live and present at. Some good takeaways today, and another defensive win today, which I think is positive, John, because coming into the year, we talked about the offense had a little bit more continuity from a player personnel standpoint, and the defense getting wins early. Maybe they're a little bit further along than we thought. It might mean a whole lot of nothing. What'd you see from the offense today, John? A little bit of interceptions out there. What are you seeing from the offense through 4 days so far?
Yeah, I think for the most part, the offense has looked fine. I think, the past couple practices, Saturday and today, more stretching the field, more throwing down the field. And that by nature becomes more difficult than taking the easy layup. So I think the first 2 days was a bunch of underneath easy layup stuff. And then they're trying to, amp it up and work on some of the other stuff that is more difficult. So it's just common sense. It's going to be a little bit, layup versus 3-pointer. Well, what's more difficult? So unless you're Steph Curry, layup's a little bit easier. So, and even for Steph it is, but you get my point. So they've been, throwing the football down the field. Perfect example, the interception today, downfield throw. Off the back foot, a little pressured, interception. Well, you're not going to throw an interception if it's a little swing pass or it's a layup. So that to me, defines. But individually, I think if you look individually, AJ's been great. Devontae, when he's been out there, has been great. Wasn't practicing today. Had some back issues. Dallas Goedert has been phenomenal in this camp, dominating the middle of the field. So I think if you look at it individually, it's been fine. But yeah, you're not going to have a high completion percentage if you're throwing the ball down the field consistently.
Yeah, no doubt about it, John. Anything in the offense that you're seeing that maybe just looks like they still need more time to gel? One player made a comment today that was interesting to me, that the offense had more new things coming into the year. So the defense was by default a little bit further along because they had Fangio obviously last year. So I don't know how much newness is going to come to the offense under Kevin Patullo, but early returns for you, does it look like there's more new there than we thought, or what are you seeing in that regard on the offense?
No, I'm in the camp. I don't think there's been more newness, no matter who the coordinator's been. I think it's been pretty similar from a framework standpoint, whether it's been Nick, Shane, Brian, Kellen, and now Kevin. I think it's been very similar. I think it'll continue to be very similar. I don't think there's going to be drastic changes or drastic different looking offense by any stretch. I think it's going to be a very familiar looking offense that has been very successful, I might add, over the years. So I think that'll continue. Defenses are usually ahead of offenses early. That's the book on the NFL. Defenses are ahead early. Because, defense is about just attacking and doing the things you have to do. And as the offense is more about chemistry, I would say, give and take both sides. There's certainly chemistry you have to develop into the secondary and the coverage and all that kind of stuff. So, it's both sides of the ball, but it's more important for the offense than I would say the defense.
Yeah, no doubt about it. John, no Devontae Smith today. He had, I think, back soreness. It was listed for him missing today. What are you seeing from that wide receiving core? Jahan Dotson spoke today. I thought he had some great words today as well. What are you seeing from overall from the receiving group for this team?
Yeah, a little bit. Terrace Marshall was good early. AJ and Devontae are good. So I think that was the excitement early was Terrace Marshall. That slowed down a little bit. Johnny Wilson's picked it up over the past couple of days.
Oh, good. Brian Pumper will be happy to hear that.
Not a tight end, that wide receiver. And he's starting to make some catches, catch the football more consistently, play up to his size, although Mac McWilliams did get a pass, but that was more of the pass, I think, than anything else. So he's been doing Anaya Smith. Boy, they're really trying to get Anaya Smith to make this team. I think he's going to be the punt returner. A nice little manufactured touch on Saturday. But I to me, it's going to be AJ, Devontae, Dotson, Anaya Smith, and Johnny Wilson. Those are your 5 receivers.
Yeah, we'll see how it all shakes out there, Johnny Mac. I do think it's a little positive that some of those guys on the back end have played pretty well. I see an advantage, John, for a receiver like Terrace Marshall, even if he can't play special teams. We've talked for years now about if you lose one of the top 2 guys, you're going to struggle on the outside. In my estimation, it's worth keeping Terrace or whoever they opt to keep, even if they can't play special teams, because why not have at least a good or a competent player on the outside that can play ball for you if something does happen to the wide receivers? By the way, both of them who missed games last year.
Well, because you can't build your roster that way. You can't assume injury. And if you're going to be on the game day roster, you got to contribute. And the only way to contribute as a backup receiver is special teams. And it's interesting because somebody tweeted that today or posted, X, trying to figure out. It was when Dan Morgan cut Terrace Marshall in Carolina, and that's exactly what he said. He said he loves him as a receiver, can't play special teams, had to go in a different direction. And from the standpoint now, also, at this stage of his career, I think the Eagles will be able to get him on the practice squad anyway. So you can go about it that way. And then if you have the injury, you just elevate him from the practice squad and go about it that way. So I think that's sort of the plan with Terrace Marshall.
Yeah, we'll see what ends up happening there. John, let's keep rolling on that offensive side of the ball. You talked about the tight ends a little bit earlier. It's a no battle for tight end 2, but I want to talk about tight end 1, Dallas Goedert. Seems like he's having a really good camp, Johnny Mac. What are you seeing?
Yeah, he's a monster, man. I never think it's going to fully develop to what it could have been just because of how good the Eagles are. And if this guy were on a different team that didn't have, if he were in Baltimore, for instance, boy, I think he'd have Pro Bowls and all pros and very tight end centric team. He's a really good player. Now he's got to stay healthy, and that's been a big part of it. And can he be out there for 17 games? You saw him in the playoffs last year. I mean, he was the Eagles' leading receiver. He was dominating. That's when I saw him body Makuba in the middle of the field, I'm like, oh boy, this could be a problem.
Yeah, right.
Now, there aren't a lot of Dallas Goederts out there, but there's a lot of good tight ends.
I mean, Goddard's more physical than most tight ends in the league, but most tight ends are about his size or bigger.
Yeah,
There's not that many undersized tight ends in the league that have a big role.
No, well, like I think I said that yesterday. There's every tight end's going to be bigger than every safety, but there are safeties who are physical and can play through it. And similarly, there are Johnny Wilson. He's 6'6", 220, but he doesn't play like he's 6'6", 220, at least as a receiver, as a blocker. But as a receiver. So there's guys who don't play as physical as they look or should be. So it can work on both sides. But yeah, when you get somebody who's big and physical and plays physically and takes advantage of it, like Dallas, and you have a safety that isn't, it could be a problem.
Yeah, we'll see what ends up happening there. John, let's keep rolling. Let's stick on tight end a little bit. You said Calcaterra looks really good. What are you seeing from him? Any chance he expands his role, John? He spoke today and he talked about he wanted to be a more versatile tight end. He looked and he compared it around the league. There's a lot of guys who can catch, and there's a lot of guys who are a threat in the run game. There's not a lot of guys who can do both, which is maybe insinuating he's trying to get better at both. It was the one knock on him. Any sign of that coming to fruition?
Well, no, because I mean, the Eagles just don't use that. So, I mean, other than if, can he get better if Dallas misses another 4-game stretch? And he got a little bit better. One thing that Grant deserves credit for is because he did, when he got here, he was one of those, receiving tight ends who was never asked to block. And he's gotten a lot bigger. He's gotten a lot stronger. Now, he's still not a great blocker, but, that's part of it, getting bigger and stronger. He's a lot bigger than when he first got here. He could always catch. Like I said, he had a one-handed stab today that was pretty impressive.
Yeah.
But he's getting better. But there's never going to be any volume for the backup tight end on this version of the Philadelphia Eagles. There's too many good players. There's too many good players.
You think like a guy like off tight ends for a second, you think like a guy like Jahan Dotson has a chance to get more targets this year? And I'm not talking about him improving. I'm talking about that position getting simply more volume this year, or no, not really.
Well, I think a little bit by the nature, they'll probably play closer games. They'll probably be behind a little bit more. So they're going to be throwing the ball a little bit more. And yeah, he's going to get more because he's now developed the chemistry with Jalen Hurts and Jalen trusts him. And so he'll get more targets than he got last year because he got here late August. And you had basically spent the whole year, first trying to learn the offense and then trying to develop that chemistry. And you saw it come to fruition late in the season. So that'll carry over. He'll be better, but and he'll be better from a statistical standpoint. He's a good player, but he's not going to have a high volume. No. I mean, there's just unless guys get hurt, and I assume you don't want guys to get hurt. I mean, AJ, Devontae, Dallas, bang, bang, bang. I always bring up that Doug Peterson, Matt Collins quote. What am I designing plays for the 6th option for? Now, Jahan's not the 6th option, but
he might be.
Grant Calcaterra might be.
I don't know. You got AJ, you got Devontae, you got Goedert, you got Saquon. Dotson, Calcaterra. Take your pick. Who's 5 and 6?
Well, I'm talking about the passing game. I'm not talking about obviously Saquon's, the biggest impact, and he's going to touch the football the most. But I'm talking strictly the passing game, and he's the 4th option in the passing game, so he'll get his chances. But it's not like a high volume passing team where you have you have 2 receivers getting 1,000 yards and you have a 3rd receiver, getting 50, 60 catches as well. It's not how the Eagles play.
Yeah, right. John, last question here, and then we're going to get to the great Jeff Kerr. Jeff, thanks for checking in, brother. I see you in the green room. We're getting you in a second. John, last one here on the offensive side of the ball, running backs, and I'm talking after Saquon Barkley. Who's getting the majority of the reps in the second team? Is there any sort of battle emerging there between Dylan and Shipley? What are you seeing in the running back room to start camp here?
Yeah, I think that's a legitimate battle with Will Shipley and A.J. Dillon. Back and forth. I would say AJ's been more noticeable. Will's probably gotten more reps, but AJ's been more noticeable. It's going to be interesting with AJ Dillon. I wanted to ask Nick about him this morning, but I asked a question about this drill and he went on for 65 minutes. Thanks, Nick, for the answer. But I think I pissed some people off. He really went on and on about it.
You guys you need like a timer. Nick can't go over 60 seconds on a response.
He gave a great answer. So I thank him for that. But I didn't want, I got to let other people get in their stuff. But I did want to ask him because I think he's impressed the coaching staff, AJ Dillon. And he was a good back in Green Bay before he got hurt.
Yeah, he was great back.
So, I don't know how it fits. We can bring Jeff on now because I'd like to ask him. I don't think he's a great compliment for Saquon. Like you think about Thunder, and like I saw somebody in my mentions saying, "Oh, they're going to be like Gibbs and Montgomery."
Oh gosh!
I'm like, what?
No way. Let's go to the main man. Get his take on this. Jeff Kerr. Follow him at Jeff Kerr CBS. Yeah. Read all his work at CBS Sports. He joins us right now here on Birds 365. Jeff, welcome to the show on a Monday evening edition, my friend. How you doing this Monday?
Thunder and Lightning with Saquon Barkley and who?
Yeah,
AJ Dillon.
Don't put that one on me, Jeff. You kidding?
I'd rather give Saquon Barkley the ball 40 times a game than give AJ Dillon the ball once.
Well, I'd rather give. That's not the point. I mean, you want to lighten the load. You'd rather give Saquon the ball 40 times over anybody. Will Shipley, Montrell John, but you want to have a more balance to take some of the load off him. But I mean, obviously Gibbs is, Sonic, and what's the other one? I forget. The goofy. That was a great.
Sonic and Knuckles.
Knuckles
coming from the Paramount guy here. They're Paramount property.
Yeah, and Knuckles is Montgomery. I mean, they're two. They have that dichotomy. They're both great backs, but they have that dichotomy. Saquon can do anything. Obviously, you see him run by people, but he's also this big, powerful back. Such a unique player. With AJ, it's just this big, powerful back. Now he doesn't have the explosion, obviously, but
I'd love to give AJ Dillon the ball though inside the 2-yard line. I think that's where he can help this team.
Well, just tush push it in.
Yeah, but if you wanted to throw another wrinkle, why not?
Yeah, I think Jalen will still be the guy in short yardage, but I don't know. He looks like, if he's healthy, he looks like a better running back than Will Shipley, but I don't see the change up.
I don't know, John,
Kenny Gainwell was a bit of a change up.
Yeah, John, don't you think they kind of downgraded from Gainwell?
Yeah, I think Kenny was a good player. I know Nick loved him. I know Jalen loved him.
Jeffrey loved him. Jeffrey was hugging him in the Howie, was hugging him in the locker room after the Super Bowl. They were like, I remember the video you sent me, John.
Yeah, well, I mean, they could have had him back. He didn't sign for like a ton of money.
I know. That's what I was wondering.
I mean, they drafted Will Shipley with this idea that, all right, Kenny's going to go. He's going to get a better opportunity somewhere else. And, we'll go right into Will Shipley. That was the idea. And Will's a good receiver. He's got more juice, which I always talk about, sub 4.4 guy than people realize. Now, pass protection, that Jamal Singleton was talking today, the running backs coach. and he seems concerned about pass protection. So, I mean, that's your quickest way as a running back to get benched. If you get the quarterback killed, you're not going to play. And that might be Will Shipley's
That
problem.
was Wendell Smallwood's problem a lot of years when he was here.
Yeah. If you can't block, if you can't pass protect, and the quarterback is taking hits, you're not going to play. And that might be Will's issue. But we'll see. We'll see how it shakes out.
Jeff, what other takeaways you have from camp? We're on the offensive side, so we'll stick on that side right now. First sign, I mean, Jeff, I'll give you just my broad perspective. Coming in, I thought the offense was going to be far ahead of the defense. So when you hear days like, oh, the defense kind of got the better of them, which I've heard a couple of times, I view that as a positive because the offense is going to have some inevitable growing pains early in camp. That's really what they're supposed to be ironing out right now. But if the defense is already having good days, maybe the defense is a little bit further along than we thought. What have you seen so far, Jeff? What's your reaction to 4 days of camp here with the offense and the defense and how they're linking up right now?
I think it is a good sign that the defense is having a strong start to camp. And look, they have a lot of young guys on this defense. This is the youngest defense in the NFL. And what I like about the defense is, and yeah, I'm actually told this by my editors at CBS. They're like, "Boy, you really been focusing on the defense." And I'm like, well, to be fair, there's only one competition on the offensive side of the ball, and it's not really a competition right now. But I can digress on that. But when you look at the defense, I'm seeing a bunch of young, hungry players. You got Jeremiah Tryers looking to play. Jahai Campbell's now in the mix. Look at the defensive tackle situation. You got Jordan Davis looking to prove he could be an every down pass rusher. He could be an every down player. Moro Jomo, I mean, he's pretty much been lightning. Really, the bad thing about this defense right now is Ty Robinson just looks awful through 4 practices.
Yeah, John wasn't as harsh as you were on Ty Robinson, Jeff.
I mean, let's get the pads on first, but I'll call it like I see it. I mean, John and I watched Jordan Mailata just kind of take that young man to school.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Yeah. John told that story in hour 1.
It was a bad rep. I'll have to say that, but it's only 1 rep. It was a bad.
He also got yelled at today too.
Yeah, he also got yelled at.
Come on, Ty, get your head out of your ass, man. That's something you can control, getting yelled at. Lack of effort in practice. Come on, Ty.
I'm telling you, Thomas Booker's ahead of him right now.
Yeah, he is. And he should be. I mean, Thomas has been here. You got to earn it. Yeah, it was a day 3 pick.
I think Carter, John, I think Carter and Jeff, I think Carter broke us a little bit. Like defensive tackles take time. They take time in the NFL to get acclimated. And a lot of times
Jaylen Carter was the 9th pick in the draft, and he was.
Well, I know, but he still broke us.
The only reason he was the 9th pick in the draft is because. But I mean, this kid's a 4th round pick. I mean, what?
Moro Jomo is
just
7th
assume
round.
He's gonna. So I mean, he's got plenty of time, but yeah. And you have to learn from that stuff. And, it's not like he's a guy who doesn't hustle. He's probably in his head because you're not having some difficulties and all of a sudden you start thinking about it and you're not doing what you're supposed to do and you get yelled at. It's not the end of the world. He'll learn from it. But yeah, for those who said, Vanilla Gorilla and he's going to do this and he's going to do that, then he would have been the 9th pick in the draft.
I tell you what, Moro, when I asked Moro Jomo today about him, I was hoping to get. I got a good quote, but wasn't the quote I was expecting from him that this is the NFL. Like, it's kind of like a warning sign from Moro Jomo.
I have to say this. I have to break in. So Jason Garrett was at practice today. At least 15 times. What does he do? Why do they let him into practice? He's the former Cowboys kid. He works for NBC.
He's allowed to be there.
He does, but he's a media. Oh my Lord! Come on, people.
He hasn't been with the Cowboys in what now? Like, when was the last time he was with the Cowboys? Was
probably
it
7-8 years ago, right? Yeah, maybe even longer, right? They had.
I mean, my God, he works for NBC. They're all there. Who else was there today?
Colleen Wolfe was there. Judy Batista was there.
If Jason Garrett's at the practice. I mean, you're at the practice. Who cares?
10 times I got it today. Why are they letting him into practice?
Everybody's
allowed to be there.
It's a spy for Jerry. I don't think Jerry's thinking
Oh,
that
my
far ahead,
Lord.
guys. I think you guys are giving Jerry a little
Joe Capani
Oh,
was
my
there, you know?
Lord.
credit
What?
there. Jerry can barely tell his fucking left foot from his right foot right now. He can't sign his best players. I don't think he's sending
Oh, my
spies.
God. Oh, my God. Spy for Jerry. Oh, my God. Yeah, please. By the way, you know, all these guys are friends.
Guys, you
They're
got a
all
good laugh.
friends.
You got a fly going in my freaking head. So.
Oh man, I didn't see. We just
Oh,
saw
no,
you.
you guys see it? No,
I saw you whacking at something. I didn't see a fly.
No, I was laughing and the fly came
I'm
in.
too
I'm
busy.
just like, what the?
I'm too busy fending off the headache from why is Jason Garrett at practice? Stop tweeting that at me. My God.
Jeff, who's been the most impressive Eagle through training camp for you so far?
That's a tough one, Xander. That's a good question, honestly, because I think you could go with a couple different routes. I mean, I've been impressed with a lot of guys so far, but again, it's early. You know what? I think Leon Mitchell's been pretty good. I mean, if I'm going to be honest, like
reports on him have been good, man.
Yeah, I mean, that's the first thing that popped up. Look, I don't think this linebacker battle's over between Jahad Campbell and Jeremiah Trotter either. I thought Trotter had a good day today.
Yeah, but John tells me when Campbell's coming in, he's replacing Bond. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, he is.
What are they thinking there at linebacker? I mean, obviously, I know what they're thinking, but I don't know. I'm trying to gauge like into the future. Like, what is Campbell? What do they want Campbell to become? Keely Ringo, we know they want him to become the cornerback. Same with Makuba. What do they want Jahad Campbell to become? I don't know if that's entirely clear yet.
I honestly it's early. I mean, that's just how I'm looking at it right now.
What they want him to do is to get healthy. That's what they want him. Completely.
Yeah,
healthy.
he's not 100% yet.
Well, he's on the practice field. I mean, obviously you want every player to be 100% healthy, but when
Yeah,
he's on,
I mean,
field,
he's good enough to be playing. So, I'm
But
curious
he's
to see what
limited. He's limited, and he's on the snap count.
Yeah,
but John, when I ask what do they want him to be, it's not get healthy. That's not what I mean. Obviously, they want him to fucking get healthy. What do they want him to be when he hits the football field, John? Come on.
They want him to be a linebacker. What do you mean?
Well, when we
he's an
drafted,
awful
we talked
linebacker.
about all the different roles, the sub packages, the NASCAR, all the different movements. You're telling me he's subbing in for Zach Bond. Is he going to be the linebacker when Nakobe Dean comes back? Is Jahad Campbell not hitting the field at all? Is that the expectation? Like, I think there's a lot of questions there. I don't think that's unfair to ask.
No, Zach Bond is the middle linebacker. Zach Bond is an all-pro. Zach Bond is who they're trying to protect and get in the maintenance reps. So when he's not in the game, somebody else has got to come in the game, not the game, the practice. Here I go with the game. So when he comes out, they've been putting Campbell in. Trotter moves the middle linebacker. He plays weak side linebacker. He's not even replacing Campbell. He's going to be a will linebacker and a hybrid edge rusher. That's what he's going to be long term, probably not till 2026, but that's what he's going to be. And when Nakobe's here, he's the middle linebacker. Zach's the weak side linebacker.
So what you're saying is very limited use in Campbell this year, even if healthy, if Nakobe gets back.
If Nakobe gets back and is healthy, and yeah, he's probably gonna be the middle linebacker.
Well, that depends when does Nakobe get back?
Yeah, exactly. But the luxury of playing time, if he's out for half the season, I would say the luxury of playing time, if Zach Bond's playing middle linebacker and Jahad Campbell's playing weak side linebacker, Jahad Campbell plays well, they're not going to take him off the field. Now to me, personally, I want Zach Bond to play weak side linebacker because you're somewhat limiting him by making him play middle linebacker because he's got a few more responsibilities that slows down the playmaking part of it. You got to get people lined up. You got to get the call. You got to get all that stuff. So I'd rather have him on the weak side. But, ultimately the goal is Bond and Campbell, whether that happens in 2026, most likely. And in that instance, Bond's going to be the middle linebacker. So it's going to happen anyway. So, if it starts that way this year and they're playing well, and Nakobe doesn't come back to week 10, Nakobe might have a problem. He's the one looking on the outside because he's not going to be here long term. That's the sad reality of that.
Yeah, that's what that definitely looks like that's correct. Yeah.
Yeah. When they drafted JAKIB Campbell, I'm like, well, I guess Nakobe Dean ain't going to be an Eagle after next year. But
yeah. I don't really see any scenario, honestly, where Nakobe Dean would return, unless I guess Campbell fall flat on his face and Trotter stinks and Munden stinks and they all stink. But I don't know about that. We'll see what ends up happening there.
Yeah, and by the way, Trotter's been fine. Trotter's made a nice play in coverage today. That's where you have the most concern with Trotter's coverage, and he did a nice job in zone coverage.
How about JAKIB Campbell knocking the ball out of what was it, Tanner McKee? You're not supposed to do that, John.
Yeah, he better be careful with that. But young guys, they don't know.
Well, yeah, he's making a play. He gets a chance to rush the passer and took advantage of it.
Yeah. Red shirts are there for a reason. Don't touch the quarterbacks.
By the way, John,
you can get away with it with Tanner McKee. You touch the other guy.
Oh, you might as well run laps at that point. John, are you a fan of the earlier start time tomorrow?
Yes and no. I don't want to deal with that traffic earlier, but yes, from the heat standpoint. I guess it'll be 95 instead of 100. So I guess that's a positive.
Well, they're preparing for those games in Kansas City and Tampa Bay.
That's true.
Yeah.
A good side of it. A good part of it.
Yeah.
That Tampa game end of September is going to be hot. We'll see.
I just remember, I still have nightmares of the 256-0 discrepancy of total yards in the second quarter, and that was the team that won the Super Bowl. The team that had 0.
Yeah. Well, the Tampa, you just got to. By the way, I read in Tampa it was 100 degrees for the first time. It's never 100 there.
No.
But the humidity is the issue.
Yeah. Feels like
that's the problem. Yeah, that's the problem.
Jeff, what are you seeing from Keely Ringo? Optimism is dying quickly on Ringo. I'm sure we're overreacting, but we're reacting as Philadelphia does. What are you seeing from Ringo?
Again, let me get the pads on, but I will say this. I see a guy who's getting burned in coverage. I'll just say that, at least on deep balls. That's something that Dory Jackson isn't doing through 4 practices.
That's what I was going to say. Does Dory look better than him? You think he looks competent?
I don't think he's significantly better than him. I think this battle is going to go on for a couple of weeks here. But look, if you're looking at negative plays, Keely Ringo has negative plays, and Dory Jackson doesn't have as many negative plays. So I guess right now they would go with the veteran. But again, I thought that Keely Ringo had a good spring, and he was just
he had a great one-day minicamp. 1 day.
Well, what we got to see, I'll say that what we got to see, not what we're told. But it's right now. I would give the edge to Dory Jackson. We're being honest, or you know what? Why don't they find a way to clone Cooper DeJean? Then they can play him at boundary corner. They can play him at safety. They can play him in the slot, and all their problems will be solved.
Dude, Cooper DeJean, he's going to be asked to play 5 positions before we know it. I mean, holy moly!
Vic Fangio is starting to live up to what Jeff Kerr says. Cooper DeJean should be a safety, and he'll be an all-pro safety. You want to call him all-pro Coop? Let's put him
right now. He's the safeguard everywhere. He's the safeguard at corner. He's a safeguard in the slot. He's the safeguard at safety. I mean, this dude they're asking a lot of Cooper DeJean.
Hey, he can handle it.
By the way, did you guys see he came in at number 60 on the NFL top 100?
Good for him.
Yeah.
He got some all-pro votes last year.
Well, I mean, his peers. I think his peers vote on that. So
he got an all-pro. He got an all-pro vote from me, Jeff Kerr.
Yeah, see, so look, it was more than you, though. He got a couple, didn't he?
Yeah, well, Vic might ruin his chance at all-pro this year by keeping him in 14 different positions.
Or might help him. That's usually sometimes how you get
all-pro. Then you got to make a pro. And the only way to make an all-pro is that one position.
You got to hit a snap count level. So if you do, like I bring that up, like guys who play a lot of different positions, it actually hurts them. But who cares? I mean, he's a good player. How long have I been telling people, Zander? Trust him at every position.
I know. You have a long time. Jeff, I'm sure you know the fan song. John doesn't know the fan song. The Cooper DeJean safety song. Do you know that song? I'm sure you know it. Come on.
Look,
Jeff, you can't lie. You must know the Cooper DeJean safety song.
Why would we pay attention to that?
Yeah,
Jeff Kerr,
Jeff
Kerr watches every piece of football content that's ever graced the internet. I know he's seen this.
What?
Why would we pay attention to that?
I don't know what you're talking about. I'm watching football games from 2002 right now. What are you doing?
Why? Yeah, it's a bunch of people who have no idea who the player is or what he can do.
It's to feel good. They were singing it on the sideline last year. The Eagles were singing it on the sideline last year.
Oh, they were? I don't know.
They were.
The only thing I knew that happened on the sideline was A.J. Brown was reading a book, and he's been doing that for a while, too.
Yeah, that's true.
Was I like the only one? I know you weren't, John. That wasn't really surprised he was doing that.
AJ, no, yeah, I know, no, yeah, I'm yeah. AJ and I have talked quite a bit. Yeah, I know he does all that self-help crap. That's crap. I shouldn't say that.
John, you said before.
Oh boy, you're just ripping on the guy.
No, I love AJ.
Well, no, John has said before he doesn't like self-help stup. That was pretty funny. Yeah. It was actually a pretty funny moment on the show.
Reading like books. Yeah, I know.
Well, you know what they say: you can't help others if you can't help yourself.
But it's worked for AJ. So, did you see Tennessee cut Treylon Burks?
Yeah, what a robbery highway trade Howie Roseman.
Howie got John Robinson fired just because of that trade.
Yeah, he did.
So the Eagles traded the 18th pick, I believe, to.
Yeah. Because remember they had 3 first-round picks that year.
Yeah,
that's right.
And they took Treylon Burks.
Treylon Burks to replace AJ Brown. He's been cut a couple years later. Pretty crazy that trade. John Robinson got fired, right? Yeah, he got fired.
That was a crazy week. I still remember. I had a couple sources in Tennessee, and one was actually at Jalen Hurts's. It was either Jalen Hurts's or AJ Brown's party. I can't remember, but and they were like, you know, like I'm at this party, and he was showing this picture of Jalen Hurts throwing balls to AJ Brown, and I'm like, well, AJ Brown's on the Eagles. I'm like, well, I'm telling you, he's probably going to be on the Eagles by Thursday. I'm like, what are you talking about? And he's like, I'm just telling you, like they're talking it up already, like they're teammates. And I do like the whole family connection, like the Godfather stuff. But I'm like, I guess this just happened. So when it did happen Thursday, I just get the text, told you. I'm like, all right.
Oh, Tyler Guyton torn ACL.
Yeah.
Oh boy,
that's not.
Is that confirmed? I thought it was rumored right now. Confirmed?
That's not good.
Rappaport just did it, so that's as good as it gets. Fear to have torn his ACL. Heading to it, and they still.
Didn't the Cowboys just have another injury? Was it Rob Cooks or something? They had an injury today before Tyler Guyton.
I don't know, but
I was
Tyler Guyton's a pretty good young player, by the way.
I was high on the Cowboys 2 weeks ago. I'm not as high on them anymore.
No, yeah, Jeff, they're unraveling earlier than I thought.
Don't give up on the Cowboys because Jason Garrett's down there spying for him.
That's true. We'll see what Jeff. I want to go back to the one other question I asked you. I asked you for who stood out the most, and you said you had a couple guys, but you only gave me one. Who else looked good to you at camp so far?
I mean, all pro Coop going with Quinyon Mitchell.
You're double dipping in last year's rookies. You're going Quinyon and Cooper.
Had a good start to the year. I'm not going to lie. It's they're good players.
Yeah, they're definitely good players.
I mean, Terrence Marshall. I thought he's had a good start.
How's Jalen Hurts look?
Fine. Again, I don't make too much out of shells and shorts. Cam Jurgens, by the way, ripped his
that was great
today. Did you hear that, John?
Yeah, I heard it.
No, I wasn't in there when Cam. He ripped off the.
John, you would have loved it. You would have loved it, John. That was like a line for Johnny Mack. Are you
my favorite was he kind of looked at Devin Caney like as a message, and Devin was laughing. I thought it was hilarious.
He's just like,
was Elliott there?
It's fake.
No,
it's not real football. Nothing matters. Nothing about it's real. The stats you tweet out are stupid. It was great.
I love
yeah, he got a
Kansas.
couple laughs out of it, and there was like
Yeah,
a pause for like 5 seconds because no one.
now
knew
was
what
he
to ask him.
was he what was the frame of it? I haven't listened to his interview yet. What was the frame of it?
What was
Because
the
I was talking to
I don't
Josh
know what-
Uche and Tyler Steen.
What's the question?
Yeah,
he
I don't. I
asked,
think
Andrew?
he
Was
kind of
he-
went off on a not on a tangent, but
Yeah,
he
it
kinda
was on a
talking about it, and
tangent.
he was like, I can't really. You can't tell much. You're in helmets and short bait, something like that, I think. And then he kind of veered off into it.
Yeah, it was like,
pretty
or
funny.
somehow he looked after he was talking about his back stuff.
All right. Yeah. Well, Cam's a football guy, man.
Yeah.
He had the Kelsey, he had the gut showing. He had the whole 9 yards going.
He gave a good answer on Tyler Steen today and what Tyler Steen's been doing. I haven't been this high on Tyler Steen as maybe Cam Jurgens is, but I'll trust Cam Jurgens.
Well, I'll ask you that question. Is it more, one of the big stories of camp thus far has been Moro Ojomo, who I think is a good player. Is it more Moro Ojomo or more that Moro Ojomo gets to go up against Tyler Steen?
Yeah, you and I talked about this today. Can I say both? Like Moro Ojomo's a good player, but
it's part both. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, what's going to happen when Jaylen Carter goes against Tyler Steen?
Oh boy.
Yeah. You know what, Xander? I'll give you one. And again, shells and shorts. I kind of like what I've been seeing out of Holland Pierce, but I liked him at Rutgers too.
That's an interesting name.
For a
name
third,
I
for
haven't heard yet.
a 13 guy, they're kind of cross training him at guard right now. I kind of like that move because they have an overabundance of tackles.
I wonder if he's the Mekhi Becton light. He's a big dude, man. He's a big dude.
Let's get a second team rep before we go.
Yeah, exactly. He hasn't gotten on second team yet.
John, I love you because we can never have any fun with you, John. You got to say, here's the fire. I'm pouring water on it. No love for Holland Pierce yet.
I'll tell you, the best undrafted kid today by a wide margin,
Maxon Hook.
Giles Jackson.
Damn.
Yeah.
Damn. Thought I was gonna get it.
That kid gets separation all over the place. But again, third team reps. But in his purview, he's really standing out. Dude's always open. Always open.
Speaking of 13 guys, if you think Dorian Thompson-Robinson's kind of taking snaps away from Kyle McCord?
I've heard that.
Well, hey, Dorian's looked a lot better over the past 2 days. So Saturday and Monday. He
looked
a
better
lot better
today.
I'll tell you what, he's an NFL quarterback. And by that, I mean he's a third string quarterback. He belongs in the NFL. And if the Eagles can get something for him, let him play and maybe get a 5th round pick. Whatever.
There's a pretty good backup, Tanner McKee.
Yeah, Tanner's fine.
I thought he was sharp today.
Tanner's I think Kyle's been now. Kyle had a bad throw today that your guy Tariq Castro Fields. Now I thought he picked it off. Did he pick it off? What am I missing here?
He did pick it off, but remember what I said to you? I think that's the first time I've ever seen him cover somebody, and that includes college.
Yeah, well, Tariq Castro, but it was a terrible throw. It was essentially
horrible. He airmailed it to
Castro
him.
Fields he was playing offense on that play. But yeah, that was the second interception of the day. And Kyle's been very good. That's the worst throw I've seen him make since he got here. But you could also see when he's off his spot, he's not the same guy, Kyle McCord.
You know what I feel bad for, John? Jalix Hunt, if you want to be honest. Like, just all the hype coming up around him. We're getting Micah Parsons comparisons to this guy.
Well, Vic tried to shut that down.
Tried to. Didn't work.
Yeah.
Well, he kind of shut
I mean, when Vic says, come on, he's like, he couldn't believe it. And he said, did you laugh? That was Vic. Not me. That was Vic Fangio.
That was Vic.
Insinuating you should have laughed.
I think Jalix Hunt's going to have a good year, but
Me too.
Like, come on,
Jeff. Somebody who I'm losing.
I think.
Good, John.
He's a fine player, but he ain't Micah Parsons.
Not too many people are.
No, not many are. Jeff, I'll tell you somebody I'm losing a little bit of optimism on in terms of this year making an impact on the team. That's Andrew Makuba. Am I overreacting? Is it still way too early to make that? And the reason I say it is, Jeff, just doesn't – it still looks real small to me. Doesn't look like he's going to be able to play a physical brand of football in the NFL with his size and his frame at this point, at least. And he's already injured, and it's kind of it kind of came to fruition earlier than I thought, where I'm like, is his body going to hold up? Now, this doesn't mean he's going to be out for long-term or for good, but what are you seeing from Makuba so far? Am I jumping the gun on losing my excitement?
John, have you seen anything from him outside of getting hurt?
No, but I haven't seen a lot of bad either. The one bad was Dallas Goedert in the middle of the field, but I mean,
Goddard does that to everybody.
Yeah, he does that to everybody. It's not like anything consistent. He's not. I don't think he's played poorly. I just don't think
it hasn't been good. He hasn't been bad. If I want to be fair.
And the injury, I mean, guys, but if you want to be fair, people brought up, can he hold up? And, we're his third training camp practice. He got banged up in coverage, making a play against Danny Gray. He got banged up. Yeah. Third NFL practice. So that, I think it's right to be concerned about that.
You're Sidney Brown right now. You're looking at the opportunity of, hey, if I'm healthy, that's mine.
Yeah, I mean, Sidney's in a good position. He's healthy, coming off the ACL. He was talking the other day. I don't know why people don't believe me. He was not healthy last year.
He was not, and that's what I'm trying to tell people with the Kobe team. Just look at Sidney Brown. It took a while.
Yeah,
Sidney Brown probably took the whole year.
Yeah. And Vic even pointed out, he didn't do anything until October, basically.
Yeah.
So
it's hard to get acclimated to a defense when you're not doing anything.
Yeah. So he's going to have a good opportunity to at least get that job for week 1. And similar to what I said about Jahad Campbell, if you're playing and you're playing well, nobody's going to take you off the field. So that's the luxury you have if you're playing. And right now, Sydney's got a great chance to lock down that job. And we'll see if he can do it. But I still, if they could find somebody to play nickel, I think Vic wants Cooper DeJean to play safety.
And maybe that's Mac McWilliams. So, by the way, Xander, that's who I think's had a good start.
John hit on him as well. Yeah, Mac McWilliams making some plays early. That's pretty good from a fifth rounder. Mac McWilliams a fifth rounder, right?
Fifth rounder, yeah.
Yeah, if I had to rate how the draft picks are faring right now, Mac McWilliams is way over Ty Robinson. If I do a power rankings,
that's true. That's true.
Who was the third round pick this year? They had none, right? They shifted out.
Yeah, they were.
Yeah, they shifted out. Yeah, they have one, and they traded back a couple times.
Traded back. That's right.
Yeah, they got a couple picks. Like Ty Robinson, I guess technically was their third.
Eight picks on day 3.
That's right. That's right.
Only
day 3.
Only the 2 picks on the first round, the second round pick.
It's funny how much I hated like the back end of this draft class this year, and the guys the Eagles got are like guys, one, I've heard of, and two, they have potential. And I think you're seeing that with a lot of these guys.
Yeah. But, I think if you're expecting last year and similar, probably not going to happen.
Yeah, but last year was an anomaly.
Yeah. With Quignon, the way he played. I mean,
you're not getting that.
You had two of the top 4 vote getters for Defensive Rookie of the Year last year.
Jeff, where's the most likely position that Howie would make a move this year in training camp or as we get closer to the season? Is it corner? Is it safety? Is it edge rusher? Where do you think he would add a player? Where do you when they're on the field, where do you look and say, oof, they could use an extra body there?
I mean, I'd love to see him get an edge rusher, but I think if this Kaylee Ringo and Dory Jackson thing doesn't work out, I think he could make a move at corner.
I don't know. I kind of like Adoree as a backup,
I like Dory too, but I think I keep I gotta keep telling myself this. Kelee Ringo just turned 23 years old a month ago today.
Yeah, but it's year 3, dude. Like the time waits for nobody. They don't really give a shit.
23.
That contract's coming though, Jeff. What are you gonna do? Not play him in year 3 and then go into him on a lame duck year, no contract, and rely on him?
Ty Robinson is older than Kelee Ringo.
I know, I get that.
Quinyon Mitchell's older than Kelee Ringo.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, forget about Ty. Ty's like 100, but Quinyon Mitchell's older than Kelee.
But I just think cornerback's a very valuable position for him.
But to Xander's point, I mean, they're not, this is the year for Kelee Ringo.
I do agree with Xander on that. This is the year, but
yeah, I mean, if he doesn't get out on the field, are we talking about
No, I'm not saying from the standpoint in his 4th year, they're not going to cut him. He's going to be a backup. He's still a very good special teams player. He's probably the best gunner the Eagles have in punt coverage.
By the way, John, how about that play Sidney Brown made today?
Yeah, well, Elijah Cooks screwed it up.
Yeah, he did.
Sidney batted it back in, and Elijah Cooks got an earful from Tyler Brown. Elijah Cooks, a lot of screaming today.
No, they're getting ready for their biggest practice of the summer.
The first padded practice moved up an hour.
Yeah.
It's going to be 175 degrees. Vic Fangio talking. That's like a headline. That's like WrestleMania. Vic Fangio's talking first padded practice. That's the WrestleMania practices.
For all you 90s movie fans out there, Tony Perk has said it best. This is where we separate the men from the boys.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. Separating the men from the boys. I love it. Brian Pumper says I'm in shambles because I did not expect Sidney Brown coming on strong. I've been pretty out on Sidney Brown, but he seems to be having a good camp.
Selfie. It's a red star, right, John?
Yeah, he is a red star.
He did play good in that first year,
Yeah. Yes and no.
Yeah, well, I don't think anybody played good in that first year.
Not good, but
Jaylen Carter.
Good enough to think he could have an NFL future,
Well, he was playing slot cornerback. He was playing completely out of position. And he did okay. He persevered. But, I just don't think he's a fit for what Vic likes. And we all know if you're not a fit for what Vic likes, it's going to be tough for you.
You're toast. Look at Bryce Huff. Toast.
Bryce Huff is toast in August.
So, well,
he was.
In hindsight, he was.
I still don't. In hindsight, now we know Bryce was actively trying to get the hell out of here.
Yeah.
So I don't think it was 100% Vic.
No, it wasn't. But it was funny. Like I was actually reading my training camp notes from last year. There was a lot of Bryce Huff bad. Bryce Huff bad. Bryce Huff can't get on field. Bryce Huff can't rush past her. And I'm like, well,
I bet you Bryce Huff has a bounce back year this year with Robert.
Well, he will because he's with Robert Saleh.
Yeah.
He will.
And the expectations are removed, so he can be in any role and nobody will care.
I always say system can trump talent sometimes. You need talented players, but you got to be in the right system too.
Yeah, no doubt. All right, Jeff, your last couple thoughts on the training camp so far. 4 practices down, a hot one coming tomorrow. What are your final thoughts on what you've seen through day 4, and how has your thoughts on the team changed through the first 4 days?
I hate shells and shorts. Give me the pads. My God,
it's a necessary evil. Guys, sometimes you got to enjoy where you are. If you get somewhere and you're always looking to the next thing, you're never going to enjoy where your feet are.
You know what, Xander?
You sound like Nick Sirianni. Man.
Good. Nick Sirianni's a Super Bowl champion coach, baby. Let's go.
I could care less about shells and shorts. I like Cam Jerkins. I really could care less about training camps. You know what? I'm going to be the training camp savant. I'm going to one up the training camp stats. I'm going to try to get the pressures and the pressures allowed from the offensive line. I'm going to be that guy. I'm going to have Jerkins all over me.
Good. Maybe it'll knock down your training camp curmudgeonness that you've shown on the show tonight, Jeff. You're not enjoying anything that's happening around.
What is there to enjoy about shells?
That I'm going to defend Jeff. Why do we have to play up to stupid narratives? Okay, that doesn't mean
they're
you're
not all- Some of
enjoying.
them are just being a fan, John. Sometimes people just want to talk about football. Like,
But this isn't football.
How many times do I tell you?
I know, but it's all we got right now, Jeff. There's
If-
no
if-
fucking Daves. There's nothing else.
If you evaluate practice like a game, you're a moron.
Well, I'm not saying to do that.
Well, a lot of people do it.
Yeah, because they don't get the information, unfortunately, because they're
But
not
I
allowed.
I can say in full confidence, John, that we do not do that here on the show.
Well, yeah, damn right I don't. But
I don't either. I don't think, unless you're telling me I do.
No,
There's
I just think you're overexcited for Shelton Short.
Well, no, I mean, it's people wait for this all summer, and we get a little bit of it. I want to give the people
Tomorrow's the fun stuff. I can't wait for tomorrow.
Oh, there you go. There's
Yeah,
I'm excited
from you,
for them.
Jeff. See, I know you have it in you, Jeff. I think John brings out the curmudgeon in you more so
No,
than
I can't wait to hear John when he can't go through security and it's hot out and
what do you mean?
and we're out of the water or the water's
Boy,
warm.
you guys sound like a miserable bunch to watch a practice
Well,
with.
Well, no,
But-
he's great to watch a practice with.
Oh, I'm entertaining to watch a practice.
During the heat, during the 100-degree heat index, when we got 45 minutes left of this, and John's making the comment about how bad the player is. It's very entertaining.
Well, that's good. I'd like to hear that. I think I need to get that mic'd up, John. Can I strap a
John
mic on?
John was ripping me after Aziz Uziari spoke because I have to.
Oh my God. Jeff, let's leads off. Aziz Ojolari is asking about Saquon Barkley. Jeff's so obsessed with Saquon. I'm like, come on. The dude
Hey,
had a
they were
cup of coffee
teammates.
with him.
I wanted info.
The dude had a cup of coffee with him once at the Giants facility, and Jeff's leading off with the guy's got 75 Georgia teammates to talk about that are his best friends.
Jeff, I'll side with you on that one, my friend. Good question. I had no issue with the opening remarks on Saquon.
You're just going against Jonathan. I thought it was funny. John's ripping me to shreds, and when he transcribes it, he's
it's another
ripping me to
Giant
shreds.
coming to Philly. I don't think it's a bad tie-in. I listened to it live. I had no issue with it.
The 75 Georgia. If you're going that route, you got to go with the Georgia teammates.
Hey, maybe I should.
Which,
ask
by
you-
the way, Aziz did on his own. He immediately pivoted to his friends.
Yeah, he did do it on his own,
He did.
Yeah.
and so good for him. He didn't take the bait. There
Well,
wasn't
maybe
any
that
bait
means,
to
maybe that
take.
means
But
Kerr didn't waste the question. If he was going to the Georgia guys anyway, shit.
hey, you know what? You know what? I'm a leadoff bowler. I set my teammates up for success. So I set John McMullen and
By the
Jason
way,
Darrow and all you guys up.
By the way, Aziz gives you nothing. So
Nothing.
didn't
I mean,
matter.
that was a snooze fest. That was nothing. There was not a whole lot.
I felt bad for Cam Jurgens today. No one wanted to ask him anything. I ran out of questions.
Well, that's because we were all talking to Steen, and the mix zone was more important today because Singleton was talking and Steen was talking
and Eugene was talking. Yeah,
It
and
was
Uche
funny
was
though,
talking.
Jeff. They rolled out some of those back end guys, and there was 3-4 questions, and they were done. You guys were crickets.
Yeah,
in the press.
Well, that's because most of us weren't there. We were in the back talking to.
See, I had to get in position because my feature story was on Jahan Dotson today, and it turned out pretty well.
I actually thought he had some good responses today.
Oh, John's the man. He's a good
he's
guy.
cool. He's got a good mindset. I like him. So we'll see.
Yeah, you know what? You'll never get anything out of him about Washington either. That's like one of those things. It's like it's a Band-Aid. I ripped it off. It's gone.
Jeff, did you see that story on Christian Wilkins? John had no thought. John didn't see it, so he didn't.
I heard about it. I'm like,
I read about it during the break. Yeah, kiss somebody on the head. Who gives a shit?
Who cares?
That's
Yeah,
a
who
weird
cares?
story, man.
Who cares?
Not the kind of story.
that's
Not the kind of story you expect coming from an NFL locker.
My favorite was Mike Florio just kind of ripping Schefter, but then he doesn't tell you what's going on. That's not what I'm hearing. Okay, well, what happened?
What did Florio and Schefter get into about?
Florio quote tweeted Schefter's story about the kiss on the head. He goes, "Well, that's not something of that realm." Hold on, let me get it up. I'll get
Florio probably cares a whole lot more.
I had no idea this was going on. I'm so entrenched in Eagles camp, I'm not paying attention.
Oh, trust me, we were paying it. Pro football. I gotta go to him. I gotta.
I love how much of a football honk you are, Jeff. I appreciate that.
Mike Florio.
Okay, so this is what he. Oh yeah, I forgot. He puts all his.
I'm not the biggest Florio guy in the world. Do you guys like Florio?
I don't mind.
I can't stand him. I can't stand him. I'm not personally. I don't.
So he quote tweeted McAfee's tweet about what Schefter said about kissing the teammate on the head, and he said that is definitely not the story that has been making the rounds. And everybody responded with, "So why don't you tell us it, Mike? Or are you just making stuff up again?"
Well, if there's something else, I mean, I saw kiss a teammate on the head. I'm like, who gives a shit? If
I don't care. I don't care. I mean, I'm sure I wouldn't want to kiss anybody on the head.
Yeah, but it wasn't written like it was just a kiss on the head. It written like that played into one of the reasons that he was released. Now, maybe that's just team, making up some bullshit to try and distract from the contract stuff that went on there.
But why would you want to make that up when you could justify the whole foot injury surgery thing, and then you don't get that dead cap hit?
Right, that's true.
You don't want that stuff out. Like, you want the foot stuff.
That makes sense, actually. Maybe it was a Christian Wilkins plant. Planted him kissing teammates on the head so I can win my
It's a weird story.
It is. That's all I meant.
It is a weird story. Maybe we should bring him to Eagles practice this week, and then he could be a spy for or Christian Wilkins to Philly. We don't need him, but sure.
Nah, we don't need that guy. All right, Jeff. Good stuff, brother. We appreciate it. I want you to go.
Don't kiss Clint Hurd on the head.
No, I want you to go into camp tomorrow feeling good, Jeff. I want you to walk in there with a smile on your face and take in training.
Ask John McMullen why I have a smile on my face every single day at 8:30. He knows exactly why.
What do you get, like food or something?
No, because I beat the traffic.
There you go.
If I'm there at 8:30, I beat the traffic. Tomorrow I gotta be there a little earlier than 8:30.
You guys don't like traffic. Oh yeah, traffic sucks. But
traffic from 422, that's a logistical nightmare, to 76, an even bigger logistical nightmare. God help us all.
Yeah,
I don't know how I have the patience to do this.
Oh boy! By the way, NFL employees in New York, so Park Avenue, have been told to shelter in place after reports of gunfire nearby.
Wow, the NFL is close by to that. I just saw the report that there was an active shooter there, but I did not see that the NFL was involved. Nuts, dude. It's just ridiculous, but we'll see. Yeah. All right, Jeff. Thank you, man, for joining tonight. Cheer up, Jeff, and go and watch the Cooper DeJean. Jeff, I know you know the Cooper DeJean song, so go and listen to it tonight. I know you know. The Phillies are on the television. I will be watching them. What inning are they in? I got to work when they just started. It's bottom of the first. All right. So they went 1, 2, 3 in the first inning. All right. I got to do a segment after that, so I'll get ready for that. Jeff, thank you for joining, brother. We'll catch up with you next week. All right, man? Sounds good. Thanks, guys. All right. Thanks, Jeff. Thanks, Jeff, bud. Us here on Birds 365. Great stuff from Jeff Kerr here on the training camp. Wrapping up day number 4. Just about 9 minutes left to go on the show today. Johnny Mack, overall, good overall. First 4 practices. Feels like a fast start. Feels like a good environment at training camp. And the big takeaway is it seems to be the defense, John, is getting the better of the offense, at least early in camp. But I know it's easy to pull the Cam Jurgens and say none of it matters. But it is none of it matters. It is. I wish I heard. Now I wish I was at Cam's. I was wasting my time. You got to rewatch that. That's worth your time. You'll rewatch that. You'll like it. I was. You only got 4 questions, so he might have talked for 5 minutes total. That's probably wise. Like, where is everybody? Because Cam's usually a big deal. Just happened to be, a bunch of other people were talking at the same time. But you got to make those decisions. Evidently, I made the wrong decision. I'd rather hear Cam complain about training camp stats. Yeah, well, there you go. That's good stuff. It was good stuff. It was good stuff. They thought a big Z phrase there. Good stuff. It was good stuff. So overall, John, do you feel better about the defense now than you did at the start of camp? Or not better, because you don't care, but do you feel like they have a better chance to be a better defense than you thought coming into training camp, or has it not moved at all? No, it hasn't moved. Hasn't moved much. I still have the same concerns. Ed wrote about that. He deserves credit for it. It's like they came in with these major concerns, and they still have these major concerns. Now it's only 4 days. I don't think that's
a catastrophe. But again, when you see Nolan Smith take some reps off and Patrick Johnson's in there, who I like as a player and is a good special teams guy, and he's a good versatile backup who can edge rush, play off ball. You don't want him being a starting edge rusher. Makuba is not, seized a position by any stretch of the imagination. Keely's not seized a position. So if anything, you're talking about maybe a little bit backwards than forward. But I never thought they were going to be a bad defense. I just think compared to last year's defense, I think it's going to be tough to live up.
I think you had
to
them like
that
top
standard.
15, didn't you? Like 12, 13, somewhere in there.
Yeah, I think it's going to be tough to live up to that standard. And when I look at, I think unless they pull the trigger on Cooper, I think safety is going to be the biggest problem to replace. But I think the biggest issue overall is edge rusher. I mean, you have to. I was at the point, and I'm still at the point, where Nolan Smith has to have a great year. And now I'm at the point, and not only does he have to have a great year, but Jalen Hunt has to be good.
Yeah.
Not
I
great,
agree.
but he's got to be good. He's got to be like Josh Sweat. He's got to be good. And boy, yeah, I'm not comfortable with edge rusher at all.
We'll see, Johnny Mac. We'll see how it all shakes out in that room. And the safety room, I think, is still interesting. I mean, you pointed it out. Cooper DeJean full-time back there, but that would mean.
Well, that means you got to find a slot, though.
Yeah, but do you think Mac's the leader in that clubhouse right now, if they did go that route?
No, I think Sidney's the leader.
No, I mean at the slot cornerback, if they wanted to shift Cooper out.
Oh, I mean, yeah, technically it's the second team slot right now. So, yeah, I guess. But that's not going to hold up. I don't think they would pull that trigger.
Yeah, let's see. How do you feel about the offense so far in camp with Kevin Petula? Everything looked like it's acclimating normally. I mean, you hear that they didn't have great days, but I think I don't think that means a whole lot of anything. But anything different, anything notable? You obviously last year, you had the commentary.
I want to put JJ Watt's tweet up and on the side of the screen, so it's always there. Like, I don't think the offense is struggling at all. I think they're trying different things.
Yeah, right.
They're trying to expand. They started out very conservative, a lot of underneath stuff. And then again, you talk 95% completion percentage.
Yeah,
and now they're throwing the ball 20 yards down the field. You think you're going to complete 95% of your passes?
Right.
Yeah, I think the offense has been fine.
Hurts still look comfortable? I mean, you talked about how confident, I think that was the word you used early in camp from him.
Yeah, it looks very confident, very comfortable. I don't sense any angst. Like last year, there was a lot of angst, from Jalen Hurts,
I agree. Every time he talked in the offseason, he showed a little bit of that angst as well.
Yeah. Now it's complete comfort. Yeah. So
why do you think that is? Is it confidence in Petula? Is it more comfortable with the change from year to year? I don't know. I feel like Jalen likes Petula. I feel like he's the first guy that he's really kind of talked up coming into the role. Normally he's pretty mum about it. He's like, yeah, he's all right. It's like, kind of
he was still pretty mum about it early on. But what I think it is, I mean, part of it is winning the Super Bowl, but a part of it is he's come to the conclusion that, you know what, this is not that big of a deal. I think he's come to that conclusion. It's hard to argue now that for the same reason that people argue other things, it's hard to argue that because they won the Super Bowl. So to say that change is affecting them, well, now you have definitive knowledge that it didn't affect them too much because there were plenty of issues during the season. But ultimately they were able to overcome them. So I think from his standpoint, it's like, it's just part of it. And I think Howie explained that to him perfectly. It's like, look, we're good. We're going to lose coaches from one or two avenues, either from not reaching expectations or reaching expectations. They're going to steal them if you win. And if you don't win, guys are going to get fired because you didn't reach expectation. So you're going to always have to have that change.
And that's heightened even more now with the success that they've had. Everybody's talking about the Eagles organization, John.
Yeah. So it's just part of it. It's part of their world right now. And by the way, Kevin Petullo, if they win again, he's not going to be here next year. He's going to be a head coach.
Yeah, he
I
sounded
guarantee it.
Yeah, he sounded good, man, at the podium. No doubt about it. Johnny Mac, great show tonight, brother. Your final thoughts on this Monday edition. And we'll do it all again tomorrow with an earlier practice tomorrow. So I don't know what time you want to try and catch up for. We can just do a 5-10 minute quickie in the morning if you're available. If not, we'll catch up with you after. And the other thing is, I don't know if I guess I don't want to change the schedule too much, but I don't know what time you'd be done if they're moving it up to earlier. You probably couldn't do before Cilio, could you? No, right?
No. Who knows? Well, we'll play it by ear. I'm probably not going to be able to be on at 8 because Vic is.
Vic's talking. So
yeah. And if I'm not, you got to get to Vic earlier. You're in the.
Yeah, right. You're in the
you're at Citizens Bank Park.
All right, well, I'll catch up with you in the morning about it. Pumper, one super chat, John, before I let you go. Pumper checked in. He said, J-Mac, you don't care about head kisses. How about rumors that he was doing drive-by toe kisses? He was a toe bandit.
No idea. Yeah, I'd have a bigger problem with that if it's the truth.
I don't know. You never know with Pumper. I
never know. I never know with your stick, Pumper. I mean, your name is Pumper. So I never know where your stick is. But I don't care about head kisses and the other stuff. Yeah, that's
Keith wants me to mic you up for practice. I don't think I'm even allowed. The Eagles would come and they would put John in the Eagles prison.
There's a lot of untoward stuff too that would come out. Yeah.
Good stuff. All right, J-Mac. Good stuff, brother. I'll catch up with you tomorrow.
All right, sounds good. Thanks, everybody.
All right, see you. There's Johnny Mac joining us here on Birds 365, a nightcap edition here on the show. A little Monday night edition of Birds 365. Holy moly, I'm dealing with some curmudgeons. I love them, but man, they sure know how to piss on a fire, don't they? I love it, though. It was good. It was a good show. It's good information, that's for sure. What's up, Steven? Good to see you, bro. What's up, Reyes? What up, Master Eagle? Thank you, J-Mac. What up, A-Team? Preston, what's up, my man? Thanks for being here. J-Mac is a freakazoid, Pumper says. Pump, you were trying to get him tonight. He didn't take the bait, man. He didn't take the bait. I don't care what Wilkins does. Yeah, me neither, really. It's kind of just a funny story, honestly. What up, Preston? Grumpy J-Mac. He is a little grumpier on the night shows, isn't he? I thought he might be less grumpy because it's not the morning. I'm like, oh, maybe J-Mac will be in a little bit of a different mood. Not at all, Josh. Not even 1%, man. Not even like an iota. Not even an iota. I think I get a little more energy at night. Holy moly, man. Yeah, that's true, Brian. That's true, Dank. I don't know, man. That's true, Dank. This isn't bedroom antics. These are locker room antics. These are locker room antics. J-Mac needs a Snickers. That's funny. J-Mac treats Birds 365 like Nick Sirianni treats a press guy. Yeah, the only problem there is Birds 365 is the actual fucking job, JD. You know? All right, everybody. I'm getting out of here. All right, I'm getting out of here. Those two sucked the life out of me tonight. They took my energy and they made it lower. They killed it. They shot it. Zander, rebrand a bald 365. Wow, I look bald to you, Pump? Come on, man. Look at these locks. Come on, Pumper. Look at that hairline. That hairline is cooking, dude. Come on, Pump. And I've been wearing a hat all day. Come on, Pumper. This is a fresh head of hair right here. I could go hit a Mexican barber who know how to cut hair and maybe look pretty dapper. I need a Mexican barber or a black barber. Them white folks, they don't know how to cut the hair. I need like the fade. I might even need to get some of that paint on the head. You know? I had the funniest conversation with Akbar about that, man. Apparently one day, I guess I was talking about the, how black guys, they get like the painted hairline. And Brian Pumper's like, or not Brian Pumper, Akbar's like, oh, you're the only white dude I know who could comment on that and not get shit. I was like, I don't know, man. I don't know why. Reyes says, gee, just get the number 2 all around. Fade up on the sides. Reyes, I'm all right, dude. I'm all right. Kango season. Kango season's coming up. I feel like a better winter, you know? Especially this style. I'm going back to the Kango soon, though. I got to go back to the Kango soon. They look better. I like the Kango look. Zander Kerr. Who you calling Zander Kerr, Rice? Shut your ass up. Come on, Z. That looks like my hair. Thin there, but still have a hairline. I got some hair. Come on. You guys are acting crazy. You guys are acting crazy, man. Pumper. Brandon Lewis, that's funny. Yo, Pumper, you're like this anonymous dude that you live in like fucking Asia. Nobody knows who the hell you are. Nobody knows who the heck you even talk. If you're even an Eagles fan, you're casting a lot of projection. I'm wondering what the hell you look like, my friend. You know, you're like one of those dudes that like. Jander's got the Dawson. First off, who the hell even knows what the heck that is? Dawson's Creek. What is that? Like some sort of a nerdy ass TV show? What's that show? The Ozarks or something? Some goofy ass show like that? This dude, Brian Pumper. Pumper's the guy that gave Mike Gill his ladyboy surgery. Yeah, he took it right off himself and handed it over to Mike. Get the Sirianni W fade. Guys, I'm good. I don't need a haircut. I appreciate that you all care so much about what I look like, but I'm pretty good. Dawson's Creek. Well, we now know how old Pumper is. Yeah, he's probably like 400 pounds. 48-year-old 400-pounder who can't stand to see Jalen Hurts thrive. Ha! Yo, Pump, I've had you in a blender all week, and you can tell because every time you come in the chat, you gotta try and chirp at me. So I know I'm under your skin right now. Yeah, there's a casual. He's a casual. I know I'm cooking Pumper right now so bad he doesn't even know what to do. That's why he keeps coming up with these goofy ass slang terms in the chat. Get cornrows, Bruce. You think I could pull it off? I think I could pull it off, dude. I think if any white dude could pull it off, Bruce, come on, it's me. Come on, Bruce. Come on, Bruce. Where's this dude, Pumper? Tanner is better. I know, you love Tanner. Zander time. Scooby-Doo. Thanks, bro. Appreciate it. Lion Mayan. We know who just went and Googled what Dawson Creek was. I'm not Googling that shit. I'm going to be like John and Jeff with training camp. Pumper been talking shit all day. Yeah, he's always talking shit. The only problem is the shit talk isn't very good. I don't know if it was McCord. I'm not sure. All right, I'm getting out of here. Good show. Fun show. I appreciate everybody for being here. Drop back on this dope-ass camo hat. This thing's fire. These melon hats, I will say, these melon hats are good, man. They're expensive, though. This was a gift. All my melon hats are gifts. If I'm spending a lot of money on a hat, it's a Kango. It's not a fucking goofy melon. mean, they named their brand Melon. How can I like that? Melon. What am I eating? Watermelon? What are we eating? Honeydew? Oh, man. What am I eating? Honeydew? Good night. Good night. Yeah, Fleming. That one's rad. Thanks, Reyes. Appreciate you, bro. Appreciate your support. I'm dealing with a lot of haters tonight. Even Johnny Mac and Jeff. I was like, you two are like tough for me to listen to. I mean, good night. All right, everybody. I love all you guys. I'm gonna rock this Kango tomorrow. This thing looks fire, man, with the gold logo. Are you kidding me? I'm rocking that tomorrow. Putting that right next to the studio. Rocking that thing tomorrow. All right. I'm rocking that sucker in the morning. I don't know when I'm going to be live. I might not have John in the morning. Yeah, Bruce. Wait, I know you picked up on this, Bruce. I know for a 100% fact that Jeff Kerr has seen the Cooper DeJean song that got millions of views, that Eagles players were singing on the sideline. People were talking about it in the Super Bowl week. Like, you're telling me that Jeff Kerr or John have never heard that song? Once Jeff heard John say, why would we care about that? He was stuck to he wasn't listening to it. I mean, come on, Kerr. You can't lie to me. Come on, man. You can't lie to me. That's cat. I think John's lying too, by the way. I don't think it's just. That's not true. Z and Kerr were jumping J Mac. Keith, it's not often Kerr will disagree with Mac. All right, I'm out of here. Kyle Larson's new I kind of like Larson. Yo, Rico, who should I be a fan of? I think I like Larson. I don't know. I kind of like Hamlin too, but the guy drives a fucking Toyota. Do I really want to root for a Toyota? Give me a Chevy or a Ford. Come on. It's like M. Reyes and his stupid Toyotas. How can I like a Toyota driver? Fucking Yodas. Rico, come on. Give me some good names. Rico, you know what you know about me. You listen to me every day. Who's the driver I would like? Come on. Yeah, root for Larson. I think I might. He's driving a Chevy, isn't he? Yeah, Larson's in a Chevy. Oh, Bruce. Wait, Bruce, are you the guy on my Instagram that posts up his raggedy old Subaru? I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding, Bruce. Bruce, you come in here and clown on us all day. Take a joke, Bruce. I know you Subaru people are some of the most sensitive people on the planet. You fucking Subi people. Don't tell me this is you, Bruce. Bruce, don't tell me it's you, Bruce. Look. There's the Subi. There's the Subi. Come on, Bruce. Yo, Secunda, there's no way you drive a Camaro. There's no way. Secunda, if you tell me right now you drive a Camaro, I will lose my shit. There's no way this dude is in here every day talking about capitalism and billionaires and, you know, the wars and everything else that's going on in the world and healthcare is driving a fucking Camaro. There's no way. Don't tell me, man, that the Flying Mayan is pushing a ZL1. Yo, guys, you guys have heard me talk about Mustangs. I'm a Mustang guy. I don't think I can be a Mustang guy anymore. I really don't. Oh, all right. It's a Nelly song. I didn't think so, Mayan. So I was looking at those ZL1s. I know they discontinued them. Dude, those cars are sick, man. A bang for the buck, too. And that's the 700 plus horsepower in that thing. Dude, those ZL1s are nice, man. I think I might have completely converted to a Chevy guy. I mean, obviously, I got the Corvette, so I might have to completely go Chevy. I might have to revoke my Ford fandom. One thing that's a guarantee is I won't be joining M. Reyes on Team Toyota. I mean, do I look like a fucking Toyota guy? Reyes, do you have a picture of your Yoda on Instagram? I just roasted Bruce for his Subaru. Yeah, them Subaru guys are sensitive, man. You know, them Subaru guys they get a little sensitive. Where's M. Reyes on this beat? Let me find M. Reyes. I will give M. Reyes credit because this dude runs like 1,000,000 miles a month. It's pretty impressive, actually. M. Reyes, I enjoy the photos of you sharing out you running. You do a good job, man. It's good stuff. Let me see if I can find a picture of your ugly ass Toyota. I'm now stalking M. Reyes' Instagram. Where's this stupid taco, M. Reyes? Send me it right now in my DM, you nerd. Where is the taco? I do not see the taco. Where is this thing? Where is this thing? I'm waiting on the DM. GMC better. Yo, man, Brian, I had a Sierra, 1500 Denali. It was the fucking worst truck I ever had. Pumper. I hated it. That's why I can't do GMC. That's why I hated Chevy in the first place, because I'm like, GM only make good in Escalade. And their Corvette's obviously banging. So that's won me over a little bit. Corvette is elite. Bro, I had a Sierra 1500 Denali. It was souped up, white with the chrome rims. Come on, man. I had a freaking Sierra. M. Reyes, where's this taco, man? No food trucks allowed on the track. Look, this is why Subaru guys are funny. This guy checks in and says, my shit would smoke your vet. Bro, no, you fucking wouldn't, Bruce. This dude's what do you got, a BRZ? Or a little STI? What do you got? WRX? What is this goofy little thing? Here's Reyes. Built tough. Dude's got the stock everything on there. My top, look, even his description is even, or his whatever you call it. My taco, he says. Good night. Good night, man. Bullera says, what's wrong with Toyotas? Bullera, take one fucking look. Do I look like a Toyota guy to you? Come on, man. Come on. This dude, Bruce, a classic Subaru guy. Nothing funnier than pulling up to a stoplight and the Subaru pulls up next to you and he starts revving his awful sounding engine. Fucking thing sounds like it's about to break into a million pieces. Yo, you want to race? No, I'm good, bro. Thanks. I'm good, man. Enjoy pushing that Subi. I'm just messing. I know everybody's going to get their panties in a bunch. Bullera, you got to know. No, see, this guy's a fool. He says Xander's going to cry when he realizes his resale value on that vet. First off, Bullera, you don't buy a Corvette and worry about resale value. Number two, I know how to get damn good deals on cars. And I put $0 down and I'm already $8,000 ahead on my Kelly Blue Book. I'm in good shape, my friend. I'm in good freaking shape. Don't get it twisted. I told you I drove my truck for 39 months. No, what did I say? Was it 39 months? No, 31 months. The total cost of ownership on my truck was 5 G's. Total cost in 3 years. Come on, man. I know what I'm doing. I know how to buy a car. There's dummy car buyers and there's smart car buyers. B. Preston, it's so true. They always pull on, man. I've already put 1,000. I've already put 1,400, Bull. I put 1,400. But, Bull, like I told you, I don't buy a Corvette and sit there and fucking worry about my resale. Oh, my God, if I drive it 100 miles today, I might lose another $1,000. Ah! No, just don't buy a car. Pull a race and buy a taco if that's what you want. Everybody teaches them. Xander makes you want to go buy a Benz. Go buy something, Keith. Look, I'm a car guy. I like driving a car. People are like, you could have put that money somewhere else. And I'm like, yeah, and you're a nerd and probably bought yourself a gaming system or whatever fucking hobby you like. I like a car. I'll spend a couple extra bucks on my car. Worry about your fucking self. Damn, B. Lewis, you're pushing a 911? That's a big boy stepper. I drove 40,000 miles in 31 months. What are you talking about, pavement princess? Roll up to a light in a SUV. You want a scissor? Oh, my gosh, that's funny. All right, I got to get out of here. You guys are making me off the rails tonight. Let me get the heck out of here. All right, everybody. Pretty funny. Bolera, cheer up. All right. Don't worry about the resale of my car. I'll handle it. All right. Bolera, I promise you, everything is okay. You don't have to worry about it. I promise. Look at this guy. That's right. Buy a Toyota. Sell it for what you bought it for. That's why you buy Toyotas. I know. You love Toyotas. I told you I'm not a fucking Toyota guy. I'll be here 8 a.m. and then who knows when else. These dudes, these Toyota dudes, they love their Toyotas. I respect the game. My uncle's the same way. And then he bought a Ford this year. He said, I don't know why I drove my Tacoma so long. This Ford's way nicer. Bought an F-150. By the way, I am getting a truck. So for all the people who are like, you bought a Corvette, I'm getting a second car. I'm getting a truck. And I'll tell you what. Yo, B. Preston, if ZK's garage hits monetization and I'm close to it already, I might be buying another sports car. So get used to it. I might be buying another one. They had a GT500, Preston, at the dealership, and it matches my damn vet. Nah, I don't like the Jeep trucks. I kind of want a ZL1. I'm not going to lie to you, Preston. I kind of want a ZL1. But tell me this thing is hot and wouldn't match my vet. Come on, man. This thing is cold. Let me show this thing. Let me show this thing off. Tell me I shouldn't. Tell me to do it and I'll do it. Don't tempt me. This thing matches my vet perfectly. White with the black. Are you kidding me? Needs some new wheels for sure, but looks pretty good. Shelby GT500. Are you kidding me? I love these cars, man. I do. I can't help it. I do it. I do love them. I do love those cars, man. All right, everybody. Joe Gibbs said nothing beats a Toyota. Joe Gibbs is a good guy to listen to, but them Shelbys are my word. That's because you drive what do you drive? What do you have, a Hellcat, Preston? Or you got a what do you have, a Scat Pack, Hellcat? You have a Hellcat, don't you? Nah, the GT500s aren't manual. They got dual clutch. But the 350s are. The 350s are manual. 350s are manual. I'm getting a truck, though. Let me know which one you guys think. By the way, I can't get myself to like the Chevy trucks as much as I want to be a Chevy guy. I just don't like the Silverados. I just don't. They're not that dope. I like F4. My brother's got an F-150. The thing is beautiful, man. Thing is beautiful. Drives like a dream. Great towing capacity. Got everything you want in a truck. We'll see. All right, everybody. Love all you guys. I appreciate you. And I'll catch you tomorrow on JAKIB Sports. Appreciate it. See you next time.
You've been listening to Birds 365, the destination for the passionate Eagles football fan who bleeds green. If it's Eagles football, we're talking about it. Debate inside the locker room and guests that are some of the greatest football minds from around the region. We hope you enjoyed the show. We know we had a blast. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll be back soon. But in the meantime, hook up with us on social media at JAKIB Sports. See you next time on Birds 365.